All right, welcome back to our little Star Trek viewing party. We're on episode 12 now, which is the Menagerie Part 2. And we're watching this on Blu-ray. You can watch this on Netflix or VHS or however you want, but we're starting right now.
I've been suspended in angst. It's very upsetting. And last we left them, they were fucked.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Mr. Spock, court-martialed.
Yes. Now, from some reports, they decided to do the Menagerie, basically repackage the first pilot, because they were running behind schedule on getting scripts finished.
And so they're like, we got a story we could kind of work with.
Yeah, we could crank out 2 episodes really quickly. We'll just spend a couple days writing this kind of envelope, what they called it.
Given, like, if you're rushed and you just need to basically literally cobble together an episode and try to make it as easy as possible, where maybe you're using less new footage and trying to piggyback off of original footage, that doesn't happen here. I don't think so, because...
Yeah, they really do construct like a new story.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that new set backdrop. You've got the uniforms for the Commodore and just everyone who's down there at the Starfleet base. And there's so much more going on. Like, they could have taken a really cheap, easy way out by just like very few, very cheap shots of the current crew. Yeah, but they don't. I mean, it is. I think
they do put some effort into it. And they package it in a way that's really worth watching. Yeah. Like, you can enjoy it even if you've already seen The Cage. And there's also, some say that basically they did this because it's cheaper, you know, to reuse footage that you've already shot, which is obviously true. Yeah. Especially, it makes sense, though. You know, you've got a certain budget over a season, and you want to get the most out of it. And from all reports...
This costs more?
The Cage, the original pilot, The Cage, was the most expensive episode out of the entire series. So
all official 79 episodes.
Yeah. So, 80th. Yeah, it was certainly the most expensive shot so far. So... You know, you definitely want to... If you spent that much money on it, then you definitely want to get your money's worth out of it. Why not, right? Yeah.
And it's great, though, because it gave viewers this whole an extra crew, you know? Another captain. I mean, there's people who love number 1. She only existed in 1 episode, really. Right. You know, But just knowing that there was a character like this and whatever the backstory could be.
And for Star Trek fans who would have wanted to see that original pilot that never aired, you know, you get the chance to see almost the entire thing packaged here. So I like it. It's a good story, and it's fun to watch. And it's a great way to stay in shape.
I mean, hands down, like, the thing that got me most excited for... the Abrams Trek films was the moment I learned that there was going to be a Captain Pike, because I loved that really beautiful nod to hardcore classic fans. I mean, Pike only exists in 1 episode, but it was like, he's going to be the one that's mentoring like a young, like Jim Kirk. I was thrilled. Love Captain Pike.
It was a fun way to sort of give them more interaction and build this real relationship.
And just get to see more of that character, you know, however someone else wanted to interpret him or you know, re-show him.
There he is lounging on his side.
This is just what he does. Yeah. He's a lounger.
When he lies down on his side.
In serious situations, he lies down like he's on a divan or something. Yeah. Those are... I mean, you said it last time, but yeah, those are tiny patches.
Yeah, the insignia badges. And the rank braids are more like a generic braid.
Yeah, you get that ribbon at any craft store. Yeah.
Now, we've seen the Talosians before, earlier, but here's the first chance we really get to interact with them.
Mm-hmm. Interpersonal communication will tell you that when someone folds their arm, they're being very defensive. Mm-hmm. And standing with their legs apart.
Right, that's definitely a power stance.
Yeah. As in, he's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They're communicating with him telepathically.
Yeah. Steroid brain there with the pulsating.
I love how it's like, it's only just now beginning to realize that that was an illusion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, if someone was talking to me, like, I just wasn't there.
Right.
Getting really pissed off.
Yeah, it's like it's designed to piss you off. Also, that's a really crude looking toilet.
Is that what you think it's supposed to be? Explain why it's all green and mossy looking, though.
Yeah. It's like, why put a decorative waterfall in your cell?
I'm gonna say he's very good at fake hitting a wall really hard.
Yeah. He is.
It's called acting.
Like, this was only the first episode.
Yeah.
Their velour tunics would not have had that much time to shrink. Yet Pike was rocking some pretty short sleeves.
Yeah. Nimoy's performance is just so much more
animated.
Yes. And it's just so awesome to be able to appreciate obviously the craft of acting and how good Nimoy was at it, that you can see obviously all this effort and skill that it takes to be very expressionless and yet still express like emotions and very specific moods.
Yeah, that's true.
This little group of boys is just so cute. Mm-hmm. It's like really, other than like the haircut, really other than the ears and the eyebrows, there's nothing about Spock. There's no Spock here like that everyone knows. Because it's a number one right now.
Yeah.
Thousands? I think I've missed that before. Thousands? There's supposed to be like a lot more? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's why this episode's called the Menagerie, because they've got a whole zoo of people down here.
Well, I thought it was like the specimens obviously made up the Menagerie, but I thought that was implying that there were like thousands of Telosians. Oh snap, what just happened?
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a civilization down here.
Except there's not, though.
I know. I mean, they have limited resources.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at this and you're like, most expensive episode ever? Yeah, I can understand why it's the most expensive episode ever.
Right. I mean, you also have to consider the fact that all the sets, including like the ship sets,
would all be considered in that original budget. Budget,
right?
I feel like even if you took out like the budget for like the standard costumes and the sets in the Enterprise, I could still see this being like one of the most expensive episodes because of all the backdrops. You know, a lot of episodes get just one backdrop over them. You know,
right? And he travels to, like, multiple different planets.
Yeah.
Within the illusions.
And different costumes every time. And
See, they're like us. They're watching this episode and talking about it.
Because the Telosians are projecting this recording somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that he can recognize a woman's face. Yeah, this guy's awesome. This monster thing.
Is it, though? Is it Pike?
He doesn't know yet.
Now, I wonder if when Orsi and Kurtzman were writing the 2009 Star Trek movie, whether they thought, what should we do with Pike? Well, we've only got one episode, but we know Pike's always getting kidnapped by aliens, so we'll have him abducted by the aliens.
As in, that is the one thing that happened to him.
Yeah, that's his defining character trait.
Yeah. Well, that and being in a wheelchair, which they also did. And I was like, oh,
right.
Too soon? What I love is that other actor is giant. Like, he's probably got some platform shoes on, but it's like a big dude.
Yeah, he is a big dude.
It's not just like we were trying to do some force perspective or something. This guy's huge.
He's like trying to push him away.
That's not doing anything. I'm pretty sure it's just bending.
And he's just like, nope. Aww.
I'll just throw things at you. I like that she tries to fight.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's such a bad, like, he's just not really good at this medieval stuff. They both stand and look at him for an instant.
Like, oh, are you okay?
It's like, he's really bad at this. I've got to step in and help.
Yeah. Also, like, I'll take a chance and fling this at him and hope, like, he doesn't turn and hit her. He's still going.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh! That guy rolled a 0. I'll leap down and attack Pipe. 0.
Well, she's got some fancy new clothes now. He is just like, what just happened?
Like, what is going on here?
And also, you were not here before.
And we've got to get...
Oh, he tired.
Oh.
Oh, he really is tired. He needs nappy time.
Yeah.
I love how basically Spock is running the show, or is acting like he is.
Even though he's the defendant.
Yeah, because the Commodore is rightfully pissed.
Is he pissed, though? Or is he just facilitating Spock moving the story along?
He's pissed. The rules are pretty clearly laid out. This Vulcan and half Vulcan is screwed.
Wheelchair responds to his thoughts, but sometimes it just responds to a red shirt pushing him into the room.
Apparently. It was going to take too long. Because don't forget...
His thoughts are very slow.
That lady said, like, he can move it a little forward and a little backwards. And a little side to side.
Maybe that's the extent of his thoughts.
And then that's it. And I was like, well, that just sucks. If you want to get him anywhere, you're just going to have to shove him. Never even imagined.
Yeah.
I just always love how they, like, ease the footage in from, like, they're watching the video screen. And then, like, oh, here it is. Like, you're now in the moment.
I like how...
he's mad.
How intelligent they make Pike, and he's, like, logically putting together all the clues, you know? It's like, that doesn't make sense. Why are you here? Why are you a constant? Why are you dressed the way
he's not dressed? Swayed by, like, a pretty girl. I mean, when you first met her, he was like, you are hot, you know? But and now that he's kidnapped, and weird stuff is going on...
He's not falling for it.
No, he's just focused on getting out of here.
Not even looking at her.
mean, it's always been like a fun story concept that, you know, there's bound to be aliens out there that just like to collect all other aliens. I mean, obviously the way humans love to collect like all types of butterflies or just like
they're bringing out the
animal.
big guns here.
Well, because she's down there now.
Mm-hmm.
Shit got real when number 1 has to come down.
Yeah, she does not play.
No. It is let's fire giant layers. They're at it.
Yeah.
And I love their obvious ski goggles that they put on.
Now, apparently, this whole Canon thing that they're using is actually a modified camera dolly.
Really? See, like, only getting number 1 in this one episode, I'm just obsessed with her every time because there's all these little things. I kind of want to assume Majel Roddenberry did herself, which is...
Or Majel Barrett, as she was back then.
Is that, you know, she's got this bit of her hair that's wrapped in, like, green velvet ribbon. And she's got blue nail polish on. And it's just always little, like, really interesting kind of character traits.
Yeah.
Which I think is why you can have a character only exist in 1 episode, or like in the cases of Kevin Riley, 2 episodes, and they feel like they existed in way more. They feel pretty fleshed out.
Yeah. I like the turtleneck collars that they had for the women. And I guess it's not surprising that they didn't have mini dresses in the initial pilot. Everyone's wearing tunics and pants.
Yeah. Why? Why do you find that not surprising?
Because if you're going to outfit uniforms for, you know, a naval vessel or something like that, you're going to have something that's more uniform. And only after, you know, the network tells you, well...
we got to make this hotter.
Right. You had a pilot, and there was only one lady in a mini dress, and she was a guest star. You got to up the sex appeal a little bit.
Yes, that's like other aspects of why I love what was presented in the pilot. Star Trek at its kind of most pure is like women are equal to men, like basically in all the ways.
Right.
So these Telosians don't do anything except like sit on their couches and mentally and just daydream.
Basically, they've created the Matrix for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're figuratively plugged into their pods, enjoying their virtual reality. I mean, people have joked that, like, the moment they invent, like, real, convincing virtual reality that feels and smells and everything real, then why would anybody leave their house? Yeah. Well, that's the Telosians, you know, taken to the extreme. And there's even...
that all development will stop.
Right, because...
all development of society, culture...
Yeah, because why would you need anything? You already have it, even if it's virtual.
Well, we know what she wants out of this.
And there's actually an earlier version of the script where she gets more explicit. She gets more explicit about what the lives of the Telosians are like.
They left her clothes. What?
Like, they just lie on their couches all the time. The only movement they do is to drink their little nutrition drink, and there's only a few machines that still make those things anymore, because no one works to maintain them.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
What has happened to their own culture from their own hand.
Right, which is why they need fresh blood in there in the form of Vina and Pike.
Spock's like, hey, you ain't seen half of it. Yeah. Like, it's just getting good.
Captain, I believe the phrase is no spoilers.
Aw, dang it. And I love Pike's, like, one-track mind, which is get the hell out of here.
Right. Now, one interesting thing that they did with this episode is all of the Telosians are women. Mm-hmm. Even though they're dubbed over with a masculine voice. Because...
Oh, they're dubbed over? I don't think I've just ever really thought about that.
Yeah.
Because... Oh, that's not good. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. He think he's like in lava.
Mustafar there.
Oh, he's going full Anakin.
Anakin, no!
That's pretty awful. They're pretty awful. They're kind of super duper awful. About hell, basically.
Yeah.
We found this horrible thing in your head, and then we made you feel it.
Yep.
God.
Just to show you who's in charge.
And he's like, you suck, I'm gonna figure you out. And he just does not stop.
Just because your brain is so big it has its own ass does not mean you are going to be able to outsmart me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on this.
Yeah.
Drink it because I have to. He's so smart.
Yeah, so they cast women as the Telosians because...
Oh, my God, I'm scared.
Because women inherently have, like, subtly different body movements.
Yes.
So it would make them seem even slightly more alien.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always enjoyed, like, the cadence of speech.
Yeah.
And they're obviously very slight and diminutive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's something about that character design for the Telosians that just seems like a gender-neutral unisex presentation because of this interesting blending of masculine and feminine features.
Mm-hmm. And they like to play with those sort of subtle, almost subconscious expectations. They do that also in the Corbomite maneuver when they have, like, the little child, Clint Howard, playing the alien, but then they dub him over with, like, an adult voice, you know? And, like, your brain doesn't quite know which way to go as to our expectations of how he'll behave. I fought at you with my head as I leave. Oh.
Now that's
denim.
some actual 60s clothing right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know Shatner would have loved this.
I know, because it's got horses!
Yep.
And they're really pretty. Because these are all supposed to be things from his mind. Like, isn't it? All the scenes they're giving him are either things he's daydreamed about or something similar experiences he's had. Because that's a horse he had, apparently.
Yeah. And he's had a richer...
That horse just wants to eat him.
He's had, like, a much richer range of experiences than Vina. Because she was so young when she crashed.
I just love how he has an actual sugar cube, and that horse knows it, and that horse is going to eat his clothing off of him. He doesn't give it to him.
Just ignoring him.
Well, I mean, there's something really unsettling about her that this,
She's so desperate to play into the illusion. He said the thing!
Yes.
He said the thing
He
that's
said the
called.
thing that's the title of the thing. I mean, could you feel for her? Because, she's just so sad and traps and everything. I mean,
Well, not yet, because we haven't learned her backstory.
But still, even here, she's playing someone who's clearly, like, they're in prison, but they need you to go along with it so they don't end up dead. I mean,
she has this desperation that you don't quite understand yet.
Which, yeah, she knows he's freaking out. She understands that's a normal way to behave, but she has to do this forced performance of trying to get him to like it.
Yeah, and I guess at first you sort of assume that it's because she's a prisoner, and like she's describing here,
year after year, like
they've basically broken her.
Oh.
But
like, you can't get away, and...
But when you learn her full story, it becomes even more tragic.
Mm-hmm. I think that's awesome. I love that. Based off her personal daydreams and fantasies.
They chose him.
Yeah. They were like, there's the dude we need. And somehow was able to, like, pull the ship over to make this happen. Which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. The volume of their abilities.
Yeah. It's like they can do all that, but they can't make a decent flat screen TV. Yeah. Like, look at that thing. It's all artistic. Messed up. It's all messed up.
But I love it, because, I mean, it's a good understanding of, like, why this character can so easily fall in love with someone they just met. Because you're like, seriously, like, lady? But when it's like,
right,
you know, they spent years knowing her mind. And this is exactly what she would fall in love with.
And this is his little daydream fantasy of his second career as a slave trader.
With, now seeing one of the most iconic characters and outfits ever. Yeah. Her as an Orion slave girl. Yeah. With this glorious, like, glitter lizard skin dress that she's wearing. I'm so in love with it.
It's like, what is that dress supposed to be? Is it supposed to look like they actually skinned a big lizard?
That's what I always assume.
Or is it just supposed to sort of be designed after a lizard?
That was a long yes.
Yeah. That was some early twerking.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably have her dance skill levels, which is not very much. At least when you compare, obviously, her to Yvonne Craig later, who was an actual dancer.
Right. Which I think she was actually considered for this role.
That would have been fun. Mm-hmm. She had been Vina. Exciting than the last. Wouldn't take him long at all. It took her years and years. Apparently, like an hour for him. He's done.
Well, I mean, this is
his truest fantasy.
Yeah. I've always wanted green slave girls.
Which, when I was little, I'm gonna say even up to, like, this year, like, I just never really clued into the fact that his daydream best career is to be a freaking slave trader. Yeah. Because that kind of really tarnishes, like, my love of Captain Pike. Because it's really messed up.
When you consider the implications of, like, human or non-human trafficking and
it's just
all that.
It's not okay. Yeah. It shouldn't be something
Even in the 60s, someone should have been looking at that and thinking, no,
him wanting to dress like a space pimp and have slave girls at his beck and call is just the grossest thing in the world.
Yeah, I know.
But I do love his...
I mean, it makes Harry Mudd seem like a saint in comparison.
Pimp kimono with collar. It's kind of a pimp kimono.
It is a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great costume design. I kind of love it.
No, but her lizard dress is fantastic.
It's glorious.
I mean, I don't know who thought about that, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, did they have Tice from the pilot?
I believe so.
That guy's bandaged now. He didn't have a hand bandage before? You guys can stay if you want. Oh no!
Oh, what happened?
Only the women! That's not good.
I love that. The women!
I'm pretty sure that's the antithesis kind of portrayal of Spock that could ever be possible.
That is not the Spock we know and love today.
It kind of sums up the situation. I like how she's...
Oh, she's mad now.
She's freaking out.
She is freaking out. He was the only shot she had of a boyfriend. And she's already following for him.
Yes. We got one of those. Pew pew. Oh, they don't work. He's like, yeah, I've already dealt with this. I love that, like, you can actually kind of feel he's doing that because his body language is super tense.
Yeah, it's subtle.
I believe...
Right. He wouldn't have had to tell us that he was filling his mind with brutal thoughts.
Yeah.
You could just read them
I believe that, like, as he's trying to, like, work with the situation has just been thrown at him, he is just, like, fuck them, burn their little faces off, and...
yeah.
It's just amazing. Ooh.
Oh.
Someone's kind of a bitch.
They have more luck crossing him with the computer.
Yeah. Someone just got owned by number one.
Yep. That's why she's number one. But yeah, she is like so much more Spock-like in many ways.
Just continually cool, calm, collected, very intelligent. Obviously, you know, already being referenced as a computer, which is something that, like, McCoy slams Spock with all the time. Like, she is always kind of thinking in numbers, and it's fantastic. And he's like, grr, grr.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't care. Oh, awkward.
The other lady has always wanted to bone you, but never thought she had a shot. Now realizes maybe she does.
How mortifying would that be? Like, you're trapped in a room.
She's way horny.
Yeah. You're trapped in a room, and they're like, this one is totes horny. Thinks about you all the time. The other one's super hot, and you'd make awesome babies, but I know, like,
this
you have...
This one is very intelligent. You'll make very smart children. This one is DTF all the way. Or you can do anal with my head.
DTF, is that desperate too?
It's down to...
Okay. I think I like desperate too. It sounds about better for her.
That is true. It is more fitting. And now he's got the blonde, the brunette, and the redhead.
This whole time, he's like, I don't even care what the conversation is. All I know is they cannot read hate. Oh. And the back.
And poor Vina, who's only shot at finding a man.
Yeah, just doing what she can to survive. I mean,
she was following the rules. She was doing exactly what they wanted.
Well, I mean, I want to say like she's doing like her job, but really she's doing what she needs to survive.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
Amazing.
They're terrible at sneaking in.
They're terrible at sneaking in. Oh my god!
Because all they
Are
do
you sure
is
they don't
lie
mean to be evil? Because imprisoning people does not seem okay.
Yeah, but they're just doing what they need to survive. Because they've let them go Matrix. They've let themselves go Matrix for so long that now they need actual human beings to sort of be their minions.
Oh, they're boned.
I mean, they're like the by and large folks from Wall-E, except without the floating chairs.
Wall-E. Not the ship. Jeez. Is that a leap? I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't be for no reason.
Mm-hmm. It would be for their own survival. Yeah. Yes! See, I told you it can extend. That does not extend.
Yeah.
I mean, because it actually extends, right? It's not just a little silver thing moving.
Right, that whole thing came out.
Because you're all like, oh, that one dude has an extra long one. I'm like, yeah, because it can extend. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's an amazing little weapon.
When it gets excited, it gets longer.
Yeah, I heard that.
Now, he's lucky that he realized this before he thought, oh, this phaser's empty. I could totally pull the trigger when it's aimed at another person.
But it's like,
because I kind of thought he might do that while he was standing there holding both of them.
But he's like insanely smart. He was like, logic is dictating to me that I actually totally blasted through that glass.
Yeah.
And you're making me think. Mm-hmm. See that I didn't.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible, really. Pike is an insane badass with a really messed up daydream.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like a badass.
Yeah. His libido has some question marks attached to it. But
so
I don't have a wait beep. I have a yes and a no. The fuck. A transfer.
It's just so interesting. I mean, because Spock is desperate. You don't see Spock behaving that way.
Well, he's totally, like, you talk about sticking your neck out. He has basically stuck his entire body down to his penis out.
but not for himself, because he obviously has no concern for him.
That's why he's desperate that Pike give him a hand here at the end to try to bring the plan to fruition.
Because he wants to... I mean, it's just interesting, because when you're talking about, like, oh, Vulcans aren't supposed to feel emotions, and we all know that's BS. It's that they feel emotions more deeply than even humans do. The amount of... the amount of emotion he feels for Pike. Oh, Kirk is pissed. Kirk's super pissed. But I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
And in trying to...
He's like, I get what's going on.
Yeah, in trying to save Pike, it's like, to save one captain, you're sacrificing another.
Yeah.
But for Spock, it's, like, logical to do this. And maybe emotional, too.
Now,
that poor guy had to just keep his mouth open the whole time.
Yeah. Well, he had a really tough job, which is basically to be completely paralyzed and covered in makeup, yet still emote.
Yeah. And did.
Yeah, he does it. He pulls it off.
So this whole time, when they were blasting stuff, it was totally working, which means they just demolished the elevator.
Right.
It's insane.
And now they need humans to fix their elevator.
One of three.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so creepy. Carefully guided lives. I enjoy his one-track mind.
Yeah. Aw.
Number one is not okay with that.
No. She's like, excuse me, Captain, but screw that.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my job.
I'm pulling my own deal here.
She's like, nope, I'm gonna blow us all up.
Yeah.
That's my plan. I mean, how much of a badass is she?
Yeah, I know. Like, even he wasn't gonna pull that.
No. Like, it's not really a decision he can make, and she's like, I'll make that one for you.
Right.
We're all going down.
Meanwhile, Colt is like, I didn't sign up for that.
Colt? Oh, the redhead?
Yeah.
Oh. How does that elevator still work?
Yeah, seriously.
I also love how you can, like... Well, I mean, I'm glad it's a safety to the... Let's explode ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's pulsing.
So much deep thought.
Yeah. Oh my
alarm.
God.
I mean, they seem mortified. Right. Like, oh my God, I had no idea that you were not into captivity.
The other animals we keep love being prisoners.
Like, it's amazing performance there, where it is like, we did not know. Like, our bad, had no idea that you hate it so much, you would rather kill yourselves.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we cool, right?
Yeah, we're not apologizing for jack.
I love how it's not like
we're all gonna die now.
It's eventual death, and we don't even know how long that would be.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I feel kind of bad. And he feels kind of bad too now.
Only humans could have saved us. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he does want to help others. So I guess they're saying, like, you're so close to us that you could easily catch what we've got, which is Matrix addiction.
Yeah, apparently. Oh. Slosians are upset. Vina's upset.
Yeah.
Which is a bad deal.
Even Pike is not entirely happy.
He's feeling mildly conflicted.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a slight lesser degree of angle on his eyebrows makes to his, like, overall face.
Yeah. And they're trimmed a little better, too.
Alright, you got one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that took a lot of work out of the transporter.
Yeah.
A little concerning.
We got the horny one back. Yeah, we got the other one. Hashtag Vulcan, not Vulcan.
Yeah. Pre-Vulcan. Uh-oh. Oh, God. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh.
And she's morphing.
Oh, his face is like, oh, you're melting in front of my face.
I did not need to see that.
It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Give her a brush or something.
Oh, dear God.
Comb.
It got the worse.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part, which is ridiculous. What does that mean? They've never seen a human before, but they're humanoid in appearance. But they were like, we don't know how this thing works, so let's just put everything in the wrong place.
Right, let's just assume that she's supposed to look asymmetrical as fuck.
Yeah.
Even though we're all symmetrical.
Like, I just don't understand it. It's like, they had the ability to rebuild her.
Yeah. She looks they look just like us.
Yeah.
Except for the massive head. But they couldn't, like, extrapolate.
Yeah, like, even if, like, they, obviously, because she was just messed up. I can't even think about what she looked like when she was found in the wreckage. But it's like, you think they would just be like, you know what, let's just default to putting it back together the way we look, because we know what we look like. And
right. And okay, we don't have the tissue here for a massive head, so we'll just make it a smaller head. Covered with hair,
but instead,
it looks like.
They made, like, super gross Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like, so...
I just assume that's how it'll work.
For all their amazing abilities, they're just really bad at their job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's because they're not good at doing things. Yeah. That's their problem.
They don't have their own imagination, apparently.
They don't, and also they're just not good at physically doing things because they're so used to just lying there and watching TV.
But also, like, because they... like, work off your own memories and your own thoughts. Are you telling me they didn't make any attempt to go into her brain?
Yeah, I assumed that she was too injured and comatose.
Something.
Like, completely comatose.
I got a super eager to be there. Oh, and now they're getting the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, back then they actually had real clipboards. Apparently these pads are a new thing, even for Star Trek.
Pads. Oh. And now Kirk gets it.
Starting to.
He's still pissed.
But, oh, yeah.
But now he gets it. Someone's gonna slap a Vulcan.
You couldn't come to me? No, I couldn't. Well, I guess you're right.
He's just so torn.
Snap! Snap! That's why when it was like, oh, prepare to beam aboard Captain Kirk, because there is no Mendez. He was an illusion all along.
Since when?
Since the beginning.
But that makes no sense. But then, like...
And in the shuttlecraft was an illusion.
How far-reaching is their ability?
Well, you have to keep in mind that starbase is very close.
Okay.
And also, their powers extend as far as the writers deem necessary.
Yes, it's also true.
Yeah. But mostly ours.
Yeah, Telosian is so stoked.
Yeah.
So stoked. Because they're not dead yet, and this is, like, super good news for them.
And then maybe we can use them to create baby humans that we can raise
that's
to do our
that's
bidding.
what frustrates Kirk the most, is that Spock didn't come to him.
Right.
Although, obviously, Spock was doing it to save his captain.
Yeah. I couldn't come to you because if you agreed, then you'd be complicit. And if you didn't agree, then we'd be fucked.
That's a pretty big deal. Like, what Captain Pike did in his time for, like, the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like, this is the least that we can do. Like, now that we've seen what that can do for him, given his current quality of life.
Right. We can't do anything more for him. All we can do is keep oiling the wheels of his wheelchair.
Fuck yeah, you do. Oh. But it's like, so Spock knows that Kirk is gonna have to go through a court-martial experience to truly understand
No, I think
what was going on there?
Spock didn't want Kirk to go through any of it. He just wanted to steal the ship.
And it sounded like he told, like, he'd been in contact with the Telosians or something, or like the Telosians knew that the strength of will that Kirk has means that he would end up following.
Right.
He's like, this totally makes sense. I mean, Kirk is about to slap him.
So then the Telosians needed Kirk to go through this experience in order to get to the point where he understood what was going on.
Aww.
It's like, how did didn't Spock just go out the door?
He just went out the door.
And now he's already transported down?
It's so interesting that they end both parts of this episode with it's just Kirk alone in the basic briefing room or whatever.
Right, except one, he's heartbroken, which is tragic.
And here he's just fascinated.
Yeah, and here he's hopeful. And it's just a great coincidence that these beings can communicate telepathically, so it's easy to dub over whatever lines you want them to say to work into this whole envelope structure. So that's why I'm saying, like, oh, is Mendez pissed? Or does he need to move the narrative along?
I'm sorry, I was too dumb to get the obvious, like, red herring they threw in there where it's, okay, beam Captain Kirk aboard, and why is it only just the one? Because that's your obvious clue that illusions are happening in places other than on Talos 4. It's happening on the Enterprise, too, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And Starfleet Command is like, that's fine.
The fact that they are beaming those images into the Enterprise the entire trip.
Yeah.
You know, obviously shows how far their powers can extend.
So Venus happy, Pike's happy.
Right, and everyone's happy except for Spock, who feels no emotion because he's Vulcan.
Except he feels all the emotions.
He experiences all the emotions.
All the emotions. So deeply.
Yeah. So that's a great episode. I love Menagerie, part 1 and part 2. You know, the cage is a fun adventure, but then the Menagerie gives it this whole other level of emotional depth.
More depth, yeah.
Yeah. So,
which again I think is what makes this so unique. And okay, we're going to use some original pilot footage, but really take it to a whole other level.
Right, by adding this entire new story. It's a very high stakes story for Spock and for Kirk, you know? Not so much for Mendez because he was fake.
Yes, I suppose. Well, not on the Starbase.
Right, not on Starbase.
But the majority of him was an illusion.
Yeah.
Messing with my mind.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. And join us next time for episode 13.
Conscience of the King.
The Conscience of the King.
My angsty favorite.
Yep, that's a great one.
Yes.
Kirk backstory. The return of
Lieutenant
Kevin Riley. Yeah, that's an awesome one.
Some good old Shakespeare, because Shakespeare is always awesome.
That's right. And Shakespeare and Star Trek have had a long history together. All right, so see you next time.